so this is the second part of technique number 3, and I'm just going to look at the final file very quickly for the shot itself. So as you can see, we have those multiple particle systems, and called the first one emit and called the second one emitception. You know, a bit of an inception joke there, but who cares? And I have two different shapes for the different ones, and I just want to highlight a couple of things here. So that first shape, which emits the original particles, and you're not going to see anything here because I have my cache turned off because it is incredibly slow. As you can see, it just has a emission shader with a red color on it. So if I grab the video very quickly, that's exactly what you can see as well, is we have these particles themselves that are emitting, that have their own shape, and this is the original particle system that's just visible. And it's really cool because you can see that red coming through, and I was able to pick that out in compositing and just blur out those reds. Let's see if I can actually find that. So what I'm doing here is, where are we? Color correction. I don't know if it's that one. Where are we? Here we have the blurs. So you see multiple blurs, and they're coming from this dilate and erode node. And basically what this will do is it's going to grab my highlights, and I was able to extract them very easily and just add them on top, blur them out, and add them in compositing towards the end to get these nice little flares. So where are we? So again, you could do this multiple ways. You could grab the red channel in this example as well, and just grab whatever information is in the red channel and extract it and blur it out and layer it back on top with an add node. So this goes to show that it creates really, really interesting effects if you have these two different particle systems looking differently as well. So for the first one, then we have that shape, and if we look at the emitter, we have about 200 of them emitting, and for the second one, you can see this is set to 3 million. Now, if you're working with this crazy amount of particles, you're always going to want to use your disk cache. So make sure to enable disk cache, and if you want as well, you can set this compression to heavy so the files will come smaller and smaller. Now, this original animation was about 360 frames, and I grabbed sort of the best 120 frames from there for a 5-second shot, and only rendered what I needed. But these caches can get very, very big very, very quickly, especially if you're working with millions and millions of particles. So make sure that you're using a disk that has enough space, that you've set everything up correctly, and that you can set it to disk. Now, if you were to want to cache this out yourself, you can open the file. If you've downloaded or whatever, you can hit free bake and bake, or bake all dynamics. If you want to free all the bakes and bake all dynamics, then we'll bake the original particles and these particles as well. But keep in mind, this is going to take up quite a bit of disk space, and also it's going to come really, really slow in the viewport. I'm not going to lie. I turned this one off in the viewport, and still it can be very slow because it's still loading stuff in the background. I don't think Blender's particle system was necessarily meant for this type of work, but I just wanted to show with this video that you can do it if you're willing to wait a little bit. I can't remember how long this cached. I know it took a while, but like I said, if you're off to make dinner or whatever, you can just hit bake and go have some dinner, or go out and have a drink and come back and see if it's done, or leave it overnight or anything like that. It works fine because you can test it with way less particles to make sure that the movement and the emission is working fine, and then just crank it up in the end and simulate it and let it render after that. And that's generally what I do. I'll do a lot of this stuff with a lower particle count and do all of the compositing and everything as well with the lower particle count, and then just crank up the final result, cache it out, and then hit render once I'm done caching all those particles. So I hope this was a bit informative about how to approach this sort of effect. I know this video is a little bit short, but just wanted to open up the file and show you that with a relatively simple amount of objects, you can create really interesting looking things. Like I said before in the previous videos, I actually have 3 turbulences in this one. So I have a large, a small, and a mini, each with their own strength and sizes and flows as well, which is something you can experiment with too. To get these really cool looking results and this really sort of almost ink-like movement of sort of ink and water. All right, so that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and maybe I'll see you in the next one.